Lee. We're in the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner. The red Zerg player coming out from the land of China. He is, of course, going to be representing himself, but also every other Zerg player in the region. What few of them remain. He is Wanted.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres LE, we have the Chinese Terran player representing Invictus Gaming. It is Coffee.
I wonder how he takes it.
Mate, it's gonna be straight black, right?
Like his soul.
Just like his soul, just like his team. Meanwhile, as we get into this, a very interesting opener from Wanted going for a pool first.
Yeah, pool first, no gas, very delayed hatchery. Now, this wasn't a 12 pool or anything. It's not going to be overly aggressive here, but you don't normally get a pool first in ZBT just for safety now, do you?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, this makes sense to me just because Coffee has been known to proxy from time to time, so I do think that Wanted is a little bit scared of that. He is making 6 links, which is a pretty big dedication, so he's going to be zooming across the map, but there is an SCV scout, so this Reaper that's being made, it should turn around, it should stay home. Should.
Yeah. Once he's able to see those links. Well, then again, you say should, but does Coffee ever do what he should do? He's actually going to miss the links, but we'll see that the hatchery is delayed for has been delayed for quite some time. Should, and I hate using that word when we're talking about Coffee here, should put 2 and 2 together, and there we go, he does.
Yeah, exactly. The Reaper does stay at home. We have a Marine on the way, so it's all about the micro at this point. Coffee is aware that links are coming across the map, and he doesn't want his CC to be delayed. Meanwhile, Wanted knows that there was an SCV scout as the SCV went into the main base, so he knows he got scouted, and he actually doesn't go into the natural, is looking to save his lings for later on.
I was half expecting a Baneling bust from here, but yeah, no, Wanted is, as you said, just going to be saving his links for later on, making sure he's on a pretty stable economy, making sure that he can get his upgrades.
Yep, as the links are coming back. Ooh, it looks like the Reaper does see them. This is a bit of a feels bad. Wanted to keep these links alive, but the Reaper has something to say about that. Thankfully, there is a bunch of shrubbery here, so Coffee has to be careful when it comes to chasing down these links.
Yeah, and he knows he'd rather not risk going into the shrubbery and getting surrounded, so instead he goes straight for the main. He scouts just about everything here. Decent pick off on one of the drones, confirms that speed is being researched, but hasn't yet checked the drone count in the natural base. This may prompt Coffee to just play a lot more defensive.
Yeah, I mean, link speed makes sense. I mean, because it got scouted, he knows that, okay, it's not like going to be a fast Roach Warren or something crazy like that, so he should feel relatively safe. He is now looking to check. The next big thing is, is there a third base? He checks the left-hand side, confirms there's nothing there, but he will confirm that, at least there is a third.
Yeah, Coffee being very active with his scouts. Even after the Reaper gets taken down, he sends a single Hellion out and he confirms, yep, there's no need for me to overreact to anything. I don't need to be overly defensive. I could even be aggressive if I wanted to.
Yeah, he can just get into his game. Like, things have normalized after the interesting opener. And we do have a bit of a dropping setup here. A very peculiar drop.
Yeah, single mine and 6 Marines. You see this every now and then. But correct me if I'm wrong, like, we see this more in TVP, do we not?
Yeah, like, this is, mate, this is not common. Going for a single Widow Mine like this, oh my god. I have seen it to have a little bit of a resurgence recently, but we'll see how much damage can get done. There are plenty of Queens at the third base, so it will have to try and dip into the main instead. We'll see if there are going to be enough links. 10 links are in production, but they're not ready quite yet.
That they are not. The Widowmine gets barred. There's not too many links here. The Widowmine will connect on a Queen, I do believe. The link count is getting thinned out. The Marines are as well. Coffee cannot overstay his welcome, so he picks up, leaves.
Yeah, and honestly, not bad. He loses 2 Marines, and he kills a Queen. Like, that's a pretty good trade, to be honest.
I wish I could kill a queen with only 2 marines.
Gotta be amazing. Meanwhile, we have another job here. The Widowmite, oh, it gets reset!
Bullets.
Oh.
It takes out a lot of the... Takes a lot of lings, but not much else. The drones were forced to all bunch up, but Wanted was able to keep his queens in position, chase away the Hellions.
Oh yeah, that could have been a lot worse. That could have been a lot worse. Meanwhile, yo, the balls on Coffee. Look at how low this medevac is. Oh my god, the queens.
He doesn't have a boost either. If things start to go wrong.
Jesus, the snipe.
Drop them now.
Oh.
The snipes were real.
Exactly. Coffee punished for his greed. Like, he was crazy trying to go in again with that medevac. Loses all of his Hellions, mate.
Just like that. Liberator gets a couple of drones, and it's going to be looking to get even more. As importantly, it also keeps Wanted on the back foot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's forced to react with his queens, forced to make a spore. A 4th drone gets picked off. So the Liberator really putting in a lot of work. It also keeps Wanted's attention at home. Meanwhile, Coffee is getting his 3rd up and running. The rest of his production as well. His upgrade stim, I believe, is already done. So... yeah, Coffee getting into his own game. Meanwhile, Wanted, I'm still looking to see what his plan is, because I'm just surprised, even though Lair is done, he hasn't started bailing speed or his upgrades.
He hasn't, but you know what he has done, Light? Double expand.
He did. Oh my god.
This is so scary.
Yeah. It looks like Wanted, because of all the harassment going on, like he did have a bunch of minerals banked up, so he's like, you know what, let's double expand. There we go. Finally, all the upgrades are on the way. He's finally kicking into gear. But it is a little bit delayed, which is a little bit scary because, you know, the push is coming now and we only have links to defend. We need those banelings.
Yeah, this is exactly what a Marine player wants to see. Now, a lot of Lings, if they get this around, will completely shut down and chase away the Marines. But Coffee's already getting into a very nice choke point. Really putting the hurt on this 4th base.
Exactly. Forces to cancel. There is no way for Wanted to really engage with this, with the Sim City, with the environment coming into play. And just like that, the 4th gets canceled.
But... the 5th is still up and running.
It's true. Thankfully, Wanted did double expand, knowing that he probably wasn't going to be able to keep one of them alive, so at least he is able to still get a 4th in the end. We see a scan. Coffee confirms that the upgrades are in production.
And he's just going to do whatever he can to keep Wanted back for now. He knows that despite these upgrades being in production, they're a little bit late. Coffee's already getting his own upgrades. Yeah, he's already got 1-1, funnily enough. He's got Stim, he's got Combat Shield, and a very respectable tank count.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a very strong timing. We do see a bit of a run by, but ooh, Coffee was so quick on that Depot Micro, able to lift it up just in time that the Lings do not slip in. And now Coffee can focus on his push. Uh-oh.
No, the Banelings are so far off creep.
Oh god, not just the Banelings, but the Lings as well. Coffee's a little bit split apart here. His tanks weren't in position. The Marines weren't there either. Yeah,
a little awkward how the pathing worked out in this scenario. But now he's got all of his units in order. He even splits up a single medevac to go for some multi-prong.
That he is. At the same time, there is that drop. Only a single drop. Meanwhile, the Ling Bane is trying to engage with this army. The Banelings are crashing on top of the tanks. Uh-oh.
Beautiful split here from the side of Coffee. He even catches the Banelings that are trying to retreat.
Yeah, exactly. Questionable move there by Wanted. Again, exploiting those Banelings on the tanks, not on the Marines. And just like that, the Marines, they keep on pushing forward. And this 5th base mate is dead.
Targets it down just like that. Wanted needed a little bit of time to remake his Baneling count. The Queens are getting medevacs, but they're getting empty medevacs, unfortunately. Coffee's other drop was cleared out, but, I mean, he's still got a base.
Yeah, exactly. The hatchery did still go down. That is still stifling the economy of Wanted heavily here. We do have these medevacs being intercepted, but thankfully only the empty ones were sniped. The rest of them will be able to escape and go back home. And Coffee, he got what he wanted. Like, sure, Wanted still has another... He still has another base, I guess, but again, he just hasn't been able to properly mine.
Yeah, I mean, he's always had a very drone count, but he's a very healthy drone count, but he's never quite been able to overtake or even out the income for a while, until now.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if things can swing back in his favor. Meanwhile, Coffee once again going for a push, this time with a double drop here towards the right-hand side. Oh, can he get it? Can he get it?
Big multi-prong. He targets it down, does get the denial. But his attention is elsewhere for now, and for dang good reason. He is pushing so far ahead here in the northern front.
Yeah, that he is. There's still plenty of Ling Bane, plenty of creep as well, so Coffee has to be so careful with how he pushes in, but he was already able to force a denial on one of the bases. Now his sights are here on the left-hand most hatchery. Oh god. 2-2 is about to finish up for Wanted.
Yeah, and has Coffee even? Yep, okay, Coffee also has 2-2, so things are going to be a little bit more even in this engagement. I'll say that what's scary for Coffee right now is that he doesn't have too many tanks here, but what tanks he does have, he split up very, very effectively.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, that Ling Bane that we saw that was looking to go for a bit of a surround instead goes for a massive counterattack. I don't know if this is the best move, but the Banelings will be able to get into the mirror line and all these SCVs are going to go down.
And they will. 7 of them, 11 of them. That's what you like to see. But counterpoint mules.
Oh god,
and also
oh god.
Other counterpoint. Coffee's already pushing into the front door of Wanted.
Exactly, and Wanted, he's just perpetually on 3-base economy. He just can't get a 4th up and running desperately. He's trying to double expand once again. He's rotating his workers over, but he still doesn't really have an answer to this Terran army. He is, though, getting out Vipers.
That's definitely going to be a fantastic answer against the tanks specifically, but, you know, a blinding cloud or two can absolutely shut down the bio as well.
Exactly. There's so much available here for the Vipers to really pull off. With these Vipers, everything changes. You know, if we have an engagement with them as... Oh my god, that was a kill.
Not a cancel.
The Bailey Nest!
It's looking mighty exposed, and these Banelings don't have too much of a buffer to them either. Once again, Coffee doesn't have too many tanks, but over here by himself, he's splitting up his Marines very, very well.
Exactly, trading as best he can against all those Banelings. The tanks are slowly leapfrogging forward. That Bailey Nest is still just barely alive, and Wanted, he's going to be forced to engage this.
Long before he's ready to. Yeah, Adrenal Glands is only about 3/4 done. 3-3 is still a long ways off compared to Coffee's, which is about halfway done.
Oh, and just like that, the Bailey Nest does go down. 3-3 is a little bit exposed as well. Oh, the Vipers, they come into flank!
Yeah, there was some really nice blinding clouds on top of the tanks! Marines do kite back. Unfortunately, the Banelings do get a connection with the tanks, which is not very ideal. But resetting the tank count alone takes away a lot of the firepower from Coffee's push.
Yeah, that it does, and now now Wanted can breathe a little bit more. He kept his Vipers alive. 3-3 is still on the way. Something that I'm really concerned about is that he has not remade that Bailey Nest.
Oh, he hasn't, has he? Oh no, but he's making a Spire to make up for it, so...
That's not what you need, buddy. That's not what you need. I'm really concerned
Units have splash damage.
There we go. The Bailey Nest is finally on the way, but it is so late. There's going to be such a long period here where Wanted doesn't have the availability to create those Banelings. To be fair, Coffee at the moment is focusing more on defending his 4th base, not so much on pushing.
Yeah, he's making a lot of moves around this area, but that's mostly because he wants to land his 4th.
Exactly, and you know what? Wanted, mate, he finally got his 4th up. He's getting his 5th up and running as well. Doesn't have the gases, to be fair, but he has a pretty decent income now.
Yeah, he's definitely on the way. Definitely starting to eclipse the mineral income, at least, of Coffee. The 6 base gets denied once again.
Oh god, that he does. As Coffee, the drop is denied here on the left-hand side. I'm still waiting for the army to be a little bit more refined from Coffee. Like, I would love to see Ghosts to help deal with those Vipers. At the moment, the Vipers can do whatever they want. Oh god!
And if they want to do nothing, they can also do nothing, because my god, That was a surround and a half.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful parasitic bomb. It does take out one of the medevacs. Wanted for the longest time was missing out on that anti-air, but the Viper's coming in clutch there in that fight, and now Coffee's on the back foot.
Yeah, it really needs to do something fast because Wanted is about to max out. Is just about to max out. Coffee around a similar army supply difference, but much lower in the worker count. He needs to either invest that supply in army and win the engagement, smash the engagements, or get himself back and try to go into the late game.
Yeah,
I'm sure is ideal for him.
At least he scans, he confirms that like there aren't any ultras or anything like that, so he doesn't have to like worry about taking into more marauders and more liberators, for example. But still, like, he is struggling to keep up with this army. Like, we saw a couple of Widowmines earlier. Widowmines would have been amazing here.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it. He made one Widowmine for his initial opening and then switched heavily into tanks. Hard to blame him. Tanks are kind of the standard unit that you want.
Early on, I guess, for those tank pushes, but when you're dealing with this much Ling Bane, you want to be switching into Widowmines, especially because of the threat of potential mutas. We saw the Spire. To be fair, we never saw any mutas, but still, like, against Ling Bane like this, like, Bio tank is struggling.
It really is. Meanwhile, Wanted holding on to those bases for the longest time, and now he's finally cashing in on them. 7 spine crawlers are being made at the moment.
Jesus Christ. Yes, down here towards the bottom right, again reinforcing the freshest base of Wanted. More Banelings are being morphed in. We have a second Spire for double upgrades for eventual Brood Lords, which are going to be key. This still has not been scouted. Oh god, Wanted is finally getting away with all this economy. Coffee, it's been a while since he's really been able to deny any of these fresh bases.
Yeah, the drops just keep getting deflected better and better each time.
Yeah, exactly. To be fair, Wanted hasn't been very aggressive, so Coffee has bought enough time to actually max out. Like, Coffee, like, again, Wanted hasn't just been pushing in or anything like that, so yeah, with that freedom, Coffee has been able to close the gap in terms of supply. I don't know if he's been able to close the gap in terms of tech.
Yeah, that's kind of thing, isn't it? To be fair, Wanted has stuck on Ling Bane for the longest time, so maybe Coffee just wants to prepare against what he has to face in the moment and then play a little bit more reactive. But I do definitely agree with you. A couple of ghosts for EMPs to Vipers would be huge.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe we don't need Ghost right now, but maybe, you know, at least getting that tech, getting that Ghost Academy so you can switch whenever you need to. Same can be said for more Liberators because, yo, Greater Spires on the way. Brood Lords will eventually be coming out.
Yeah, Wanted needs to clear some supply to do that. His own supply, not his opponent's, but he'd be more than happy if Coffee decides to delete half his army.
Yeah, exactly. We see more scans being thrown down. Coffee, he realizes the situation he's in, and he just hasn't been able to do anything about it. I don't think he can. He's gonna try and push out now, but there's just Ling Bane waiting for him.
Completely collapses on top of the Terran army, but now the Ling Bane is far off a creep. The Marauders in the front soak up so many Baneling shots, and most of the bio stays alive. 50 Lings are now on the way, though. If Coffee wants to press his advantage, he's got to go now, and well, he went, but he didn't quite go.
Yeah, there was no advantage. Like, he traded well against what he was fighting, but the problem is that there's just so much more available just because Wanted is eclipsing Coffee in terms of that supply.
It really is. Coffee has never got to 190 overall supply, ever, has he? Compared to Wanted, who was 200 for a while.
He has been. He's been working on that bank, so he can just keep replenishing whatever he's losing. We do see Coffee attempting to expand and take another base, which is great, I guess. We see another scan into the main. Again, continuing to miss these spires. Oh boy.
He really doesn't know what's coming his way. I mean, he sees the Corruptors now, so
yeah,
he should at least have an inkling that, you know, eventually I may have to worry about Brood Lords, and as I was saying, Ghosts can be invaluable against them.
Yeah.
But Coffee hasn't responded yet.
He hasn't, and I don't think he will. Oh boy. He's just kind of stuck in his ways. There we go. We have the double scan. Confirms what's coming. He may switch into, I don't know, Vikings. There we go. Thor production has started, but it may be a little bit too late here. 2 tanks get taken out. Now the Banelings are rolling in to take out the planetary.
No repairs. That is painful. And a bunch of the mineral line goes down too. 16 SCVs?
Oh yeah.
Plus that planetary fortress? Look at that. Coffee's lifting up his mane. That's how desperate he is.
That he is. Like, everything went down. GG gets called. And Wanted takes the first game.
Pretty surprisingly, if I'm going to be honest. I really thought Coffee had the advantage in that game, and his initial push looked scary as all heck.
Hey, in the first, like, 10 minutes of the game, Coffee was killing bases left and right. Like, he was all over the place. Yeah, it was crazy. Other than, obviously, the first drop with the Hellions. But, like, that was just, like, you know, a minor thing. Everything else was looking up Coffee. But then over time, he stopped. He ran out of steam, I guess is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Because he was on 3 races for a long time. It took him it took him a while to get a 4th up and running and really work on his SCV production. So his rallies across the map weren't necessarily there.
Yeah. His rallies across the map stayed rallies across the map when they should have been rallied to mineral lines. Yeah, I get what you. Yeah. And that was game number 1.
That was game number 1. And what I was saying was the rallies weren't rallies because he just didn't have the money to produce and keep up with his opponent. But oh boy, yeah, we'll see how things change here. We'll see if things change as we're getting ready to dive into game number 2.
Definitely a big map, which lends itself really well to short games. I'm, of course, talking about Romanticide.
Oh yeah. Getting ready to dive into Romanticide. So 2 honestly pretty standard maps for the entire series, to be honest. Like 2000 Atmospheres, Romanticide, and Oxide. I was surprised by how vanilla the Vetoes were. No
Beckett, no Blackburn. It's a little unfortunate, I suppose, but you know, we knew eventually we would get a series where we didn't see any of those maps.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that it's a series including both of these players.
Definitely.
Oh.
Do you think that Coffee is maybe shaking his reputation a little bit then?
Maybe. I don't know. Like, to be fair, like, I never thought of Coffee as a late game player. So, I mean, maybe as we saw, like, yeah, as the game goes on, maybe things kind of slip out of his hands.
Mayhaps. As we load into Romanticide LE. We're at the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spotting all the way to the bottom right-hand corner. We have the blue Terran player coming down from the land of China. He is, of course, going to be representing Invictus Gaming. IG. He is Coffee.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the Chinese Zerg player, the only Zerg player in the entirety of this group stage, fighting for his life, currently up 1-0. It is Wanted.
Dead or alive.
Oh, that's what
I want that to be his intro. Yeah. I want that to be his intro music, by the way.
Gotta love Kiss, man.
Yeah.
As here Wanted.
Bovine Joni.
There you go. Bo Jovi. Billy Joel.
Billy Joel. Yeah.
But yeah, we have a much more standard opener here from Wanted. None of this pool first shenanigans, putting himself behind economically. No. Hatch gas pool, mate.
Pretty much. About what we expect from a map as large as Romanticide. I'm a little bit surprised, if I'm being honest, that Coffee is going for a Reaper expand. I say a Reaper expand. He might not be. Okay, it's going to be a Reaper expand. Because, you know, we talk a lot about Romanticide. It's the largest map in the current map pool. That is why Wanted is feeling safe enough to go for a hatch first. But on the flip side of that, we also see a lot of Terran players say, I do not want to play the late game at all on this map. I'm just going to proxy 2 racks, and if I lose, then I lose. If I win, I win. But Wanted's out match point, so it makes sense that Coffee doesn't want to risk it.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about a couple of things. Well, what I will say is that, again, Coffee was looking really good in game number 1. For the first half of it, he was looking amazing. He was looking, I thought it was, I was writing Wanted off already. I was like, oh my god, this is not looking good. And I imagine maybe Coffee feels the same way. He's like, oh my god, how did I let that go in the end? You know, I know that I can perform a little bit better. I know that I can tighten up and execute this build and this style to the point where I can take this to the ace match. And that may be his thought process here.
That double expand early on really helped out Wanted. Kind of hoping that Coffee maybe quickly looked at that, or I think at a certain point he realized, oh, he went for a double expansion that I didn't catch yet. Coffee was doing really good, taking out the third base. Little did he know, he could afford to lose that third base.
Yeah. So I imagine he's going to be a lot more, I guess, vigilant when it comes to scouting and checking bases. Even here, he's doing a very good job being annoying with this Reaper, forcing a Spore, you know, almost getting a couple of drones here and there.
Yeah, he gets a really good scout as well. Hasn't quite seen the third, but he should have an idea of it coming down. Oh lord, forcing a lot of Spores, actually.
Again, this Reaper is doing a lot, mate. Finally, it's going to be dealt with. Finally, it's going to be cleaned up by these queens. But, you know, it did its job.
Indeed, it did. And the Hellions are coming in to finish it.
Oh, yeah, again, as these drones are weakened from earlier, we do see a couple of them already going down, and there are no links to help support this.
Pretty good split, though.
Oh, God.
Not too many drones are starting to line up. Only 3 of them go down. But what about these other 2 Hellions coming in?
Exactly, they don't just stop, they don't stop. But thankfully, Lings were being produced there by Wanted as he was defending, so now he will have them for the follow-up Hellions. So yeah, with that, the aggression is ended, but at least Coffee still has some Hellions to, again, stop that creep.
Yeah. Really wants to make sure it doesn't go out of control like so.
And just being on top of those tumors as best he can. Meanwhile, wow, bigger commitment into the Liberators this time, going for a second one after this.
Alright then. Is he going to throw out an armory? Well, he's getting stims, so probably not.
Yeah. I mean, we got a lot of Hellions here. We got a lot of Liberators. This is very reminiscent of, I guess, like your opening, right? Where you do try to like pull apart the opponent a little bit and at least find damage, whether it's through Liberators or Hellions, one or the other.
Ah, yes, the brick. Viking, Liberator, 8 Hellions. Although in this case, Coffee has 5 Hellions right now, 6 Hellions right now, in addition to the 2 that he lost early on. And instead of a Viking, he gets a second Liberator. I'm very curious how this will pay off. He's doing a really fantastic job of distracting the queens, though.
That he is. Meanwhile, the Hellions are rotating around. They want all these juicy drones. So far, the Liberators do get forced back. The queens do rotate over. And the Hellions are going to dive in. But if they do, they're going to get taken out.
Yeah, really important for Wanted to have rotate around with his queens, too. It would have been very easy for him to say, alright, I have the Spore Crawl in position. I don't got to worry about anything anymore. But he was careful. He made sure to keep his queens in position, because you never know when the Hellions are going to try to sneak in.
Yeah. Coffee was doing such a good job with his entire army, just trying to find a way and trying to expose a weak point of Wanted. But Wanted did a very good job at keeping up, and now, just like that, Coffee's forced all the way back. But I want to commend him because he kept both Liberators alive.
He did. Wow. That's going to add a lot of positional value as the game continues.
Yeah, like, this is great. Like, a lot of Terran players, they just kind of set him and forget him, you know? Like, they just hope and pray, get some drone kills,
you can
maybe
use
get
my name when you say some Terran players. Forget him.
I'll
allow it.
Even amongst the pro players, so it's really cool for
True.
Coffee to, again, babysit them as best as possible and take care of them.
Yeah, even giving them a repair job. And he's going out again, this time with a drop too. Coffee just does not stop to harass.
Oh yeah. 2 Liberators and this double chop in the center of the map. Meanwhile, Wanted once again going for that double expand.
This pays off, then I feel like Wanted will just about have the game in the bag. Not necessarily win, but he'll have the advantage for a long time. If it doesn't, then, well, Coffee's gonna just completely roll over him.
We'll see. So far, the Liberators are actually dealing a decent amount of damage here in both bases. Looks like this one towards the north will finally get taken out. Meanwhile, this one here, oh no, Coffee, please.
Get taken out! And at least gets another drone before it goes.
And meanwhile, make the double jump. He focuses down the hatchery and he will get it.
Nicely done. Can he go for the other base?
Well, I mean, 1 is honestly pretty good. At least both bases did not get up and running here. So 3 base versus 4, honestly pretty good here for Coffee. And now it's time to push out with the tanks. Now it's time to push towards that fresh base.
Indeed, it is only a single tank for now, though. Coffee can't get too ahead of himself.
Yeah, what's scary about this is that Wanted sees all with that changeling, so he's getting ready for the push. This time he did not forget Baneling's speed. It is ready for the attack.
Coffee doesn't realize that. He doesn't realize the
Oh god!
Either.
Meanwhile, the Banelings are rolling on forward. The tanks get exposed. This time, Wanted does not allow the Banelings to explode and detonate on said tank, so he trades fairly well, and now Coffee is having a harder time pushing in.
Definitely is. Only a single tank now, and sure, that was the most efficient trade for our red Zerg player, but at least he was able to halve the tank count. It's a lot less he really has to worry about. A couple of bio units got taken out. 2 reinforcements trying to get something done. Will they be able to do it?
We'll see. I mean, there's no creep, but there's plenty of Lingbane. Ooh, Wanted actually pulls back. He doesn't commit, and that tank's still dealing so much damage.
Hey, the target firing on Coffee's tanks. He's absolutely doing it.
God.
There's going to be enough. More Banelings are about to finish.
Hey, that's an understatement. That's a lot of Banelings. That's, oh my god. As he wants to push on forward, wants to try and get us around on the Marines. He does land on top of one of those tanks, and the second one is going to get picked off as well.
But now he's so far off creep. All of the Banelings go down. And if we look at that army supply difference, it's hard to see Coffee letting go of it. I will say that a lot of his supply does need to get in position. He does need to spend some time gathering his reinforcements. This is time that Wanted's using to get a ton of Banelings out. But still, supply don't lie, usually.
Mate, the target fire on those tanks was insane. Even though they ended up dying, like, they got such juicy shots off on those Banelings. A kill, not a cancel on another base of Wanted. And Coffee, he was banking so much on this push to deal the damage, and it did. It did more than that.
Yeah, just about broke a hole in the armor of Wanted, and now Coffee is going straight through it.
Yeah, exactly, and oh god, I mean, now he's trying to push into creep, and the Lingbane will find some connections here, but is it enough to stop the rally, to stop all these Marine reinforcements?
Not quite.
Exactly, and again, this is the danger of Romanticide and expanding here towards this forward location. The rocks were never dealt with, and Coffee was able to utilize them so well for that choke point. GG.
Very well played here. Do kind of feel like there were a couple of times where Wanted got a little bit, just a very little bit too ahead of himself fighting. I feel like there were more engagements that happened off creep that weren't necessarily engagements that Coffee forced either.
Yeah.
Then there were engagements that were on creep. And, you know, I really feel for Wanted. Even though I'm a Terran player, I get it when the Zerg player sees that tank, that foothold established right outside the bases. You're like, alright, I need to do whatever I can to clear that out. But that's exactly what the Terran player wants when they set up outside of creep.
Yeah, like, as you said, Wanted was a little bit impatient there. There was nothing stopping him from from just waiting a little bit more and waiting for the Terran player to push into him, right? Like, when the Marines push on creep, then you start engaging with your Lingbane. When they get forced off creep to the safety of the tanks and, you know, the regular terrain, I guess, you back off, right? You don't have to commit to that. So, yeah, some questionable moves there by Wanted.
But he has another chance.
He does.
So does Coffee. Coffee won himself another chance here. That's the word that I'm gonna use. It's not necessarily the word that I was thinking of, but it's what I'm gonna use.
Yeah. I mean, mate, we're going to the ace match, and that is what we all wanted in the end.
I get it.
Awful, mate. Awful. As the players are ready and we are diving in, and yeah, I can't wait. We'll see how this goes. I do think that, again, Coffee's strengths lie in the mid game. Wanted a little bit more in the late game. We'll see if he can survive that long as we are heading into Oxide.
That we shall. All ends here.
Oh boy, that it does. And this is when we see a proxy mate.
I hope so. As we load into the bottom of the left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom of the left-hand corner of Oxide LE, where we have the blue Terran player coming down from the land of China. He is, of course, going to be representing his clan Invictus Gaming IG. He is Coffee. Awesome.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Chinese Zerg player representing himself. It is Wanted.
The song is playing in my head. I had to do my best to not say out the lyrics here as you finish that intro.
God. I don't even know what song you're on about, man.
Yeah.
God damn.
He's a cowboy.
Na, 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 na,
On a steel horse he rides.
I don't, mate. Oh, God.
Well, we don't have any proxies.
No, we don't. Everything's at home. Wanted, he's looking, though. He's looking very vigilantly here for a proxy with his overlords. Again, just doesn't want to get cheesed out, mate.
Yeah, obviously it's not likely that your opponent's going to risk everything on the ace match, but it's better to be safe than sorry. If your opponent does happen to risk everything on the ace match, and you don't scout that, well, that's just a little, that's just something that's going to hang over your head for the next couple of years.
Yeah, feels zest, man. Oh, God. As so far, the openers are very much so standard. I'm really curious to see what Coffee is going to bring to the table, especially because we have seen some very iconic Coffee builds and pushes on Oxide. To be fair, in different matchups, but again, maybe it will come into play here against the Zerg.
That we shall see. So far, we just see normal Terran things and normal Zerg things. I say normal Terran things, but Coffee actually going for a second barracks.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's 2-on-1, man.
All right.
Let's go. It's been less than 24 hours since I've seen this. So yeah, we're getting a bit of a 2-1-1 from Coffee. I love it. Now our eyes are on Wanted. Wanted has to be careful, especially because Coffee, he has been opening up 1-1-1 the past 2 games, but he's been doing different variants, right? Like Wanted needs to go in. He needs to scout this.
Yeah, but unfortunately, once he sees the reactor on that barracks, he pulls away with his Overlord. Doesn't want to risk it going down to Marines. I guess he should have a bit of an inkling, right? I mean,
oh yeah,
Coffee did skip the initial Marine, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I mean,
safety Marine.
Once he realizes, hey, you know, there are no Hellions out whatsoever. Something's a little bit odd here. Also, nice micro there with the drones. It does take down that Reaper. But Wanted should realize that it is at least a 2-racks opener. Could be 3, but he's going even further with his Overlord.
Yeah. And he sees that the barracks is in fact producing. He sees all these Marines. This should anyway be enough of a tell for Wanted.
Oh yeah.
See how he's we'll see how he responds to this. Usually we see Zerg players just get a whole bunch of Lings, as many as they can, and try to surround the Marines, and if not kill them, at least be enough of a concern for the Terran to pick up and evacuate.
Yeah, exactly. We need Lings, we need Queens to help deter and focus down the medevac as well, to force the Terran to back off. We need Creep, more importantly, as well. So again, he does get a heads up and it has more room to maneuver around and defend. It is all on Wanted to prepare for this double drop.
And he sees it coming.
He does see it coming. Well, his Lings saw it coming. And
well, yeah.
Hopefully he saw it as well, as the Queens are repositioned towards the third.
Yeah, even considered getting a Spine Crawler. He is actually getting a Spine Crawler, which is better to be safe than sorry. I guess he just doesn't... he realizes how few Zerglings he really has at the moment, so yeah. Might as well.
Exactly. It's very easy to just die to this push, this 2-on-1 push, so he does take it very seriously. Of course, he will be able to cancel, or he should be able to cancel these spines, as he no longer needs them. Be able to
he may keep them.
Cancel the spot. Should okay. Let's him finish. All right.
So yeah. So this will delay the tech for a little bit, but again, better to be safe than sorry. It's not the biggest of deals for a Wanted. The most important thing is he's able to chase away these drops with his Lings, and he is.
Again, yeah, his biggest concern is to not die. But he's taking every precaution. We have spines at the third, and we have 2 spores in the main. It's understandable, but like, my god, I thought I overreacted to 2-on-1s, and this man he's crazy. He's doing everything.
Yeah, you really wanted to defend the choice of getting the spines and whatnot, but seeing those spores, it's a little bit excessive. Then again, Pureling Bane can be devastating once you get the right upgrades. Now, Wanted doesn't have 1-1, but Baneling Speed is about to finish up pretty soon. If he's able to catch this army out of position, he can absolutely smash and go continue to counter push.
Yeah, he definitely could have. Meanwhile, Coffee was able to spot it just in time. He does siege up with his tanks, does force Wanted back. Meanwhile, he's getting his own third CC. It is a little bit delayed, but again, that is because he has the power of the Buyer here. The double drop, it gets spotted. Yo, the Queens are kind of in position to intercept. Oh.
But he doesn't quite want to risk it. He also doesn't want to fight off Creep here, especially with slow Lings. No Wanted. He pulls back, thankfully. Oh,
god, that he does. Again, he only has to wait a couple more seconds for Baneling Speed to finish up, so please do not engage too early. I'm also concerned because, mate, we need more Banelings. There we go. A couple of them are being morphed in, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, these are Banelings that should have been made a little while ago. A couple of Creep Tumors that get taken out already. So, once again, Wanted is just being pushed further and further to his side of the map.
Yeah, he wants to drop.
Very awkward to engage.
He wants to drop so bad. Here we go. The tanks are going to siege up on the low ground. We do see a drop into the main, but the Lings are going to get on top of the tanks.
Just like so. Oh no, Coffee didn't commit either way, and because of it, he's going to lose half his army. He's going to lose all of his tanks.
Exactly, like this wall of stack defense really actually worked out for Wanted. He's expanding, he's taking a 4th base behind this. The 10 count was reset, as you were saying. Coffee's in a really bad place right now.
He really is. Trying his best to go for multi-prong harasses, but all of these Lings that Wanted made earlier on to survive, now he can do a lot more of them. He's turning them into Banelings. He's finishing up his 1-1 upgrades. He can tank a hit or two from the Terran army and just keep going.
That he can. Meanwhile, we do have a double drop here, and unfortunately Wanted moved out of position, so this hatchery will go down. Nice pickoff here by Coffee. This is a way to get back into this.
It absolutely is. Coffee is doing a pretty good job of clearing out the creep on the edges of the map, but funnily enough, Wanted, he's just creeping down the middle. It's around, very good hot pickup, but again, more casualties will have to be sustained.
Oh my god, and this is what I'm worried about. Another tank goes down, there's no mining here at the 3rd base. Like, it's great that Coffee was able to kill the 4th, but he needs his 3rd up and running, and Wanted, again, is just trying to... I don't know if I want to say starve him out, but just... Yeah.
Well, I think that was the initial plan, but now he sees a bit of an opportunity, maybe?
That he does. Wanted's a little bit paranoid of a counterattack, of a little bit of a drop towards the top left, so he doesn't go for the pincer move, not yet.
But he's actually setting himself up to go for the pincer move, funnily enough, by repositioning units to defend that base.
Yeah, that he is. He has to be careful. There's some nicely positioned tanks here at the natural. Finally, the creep in the center of the map is being cleaned up by Coffee, but yo, the Lings are here to respond.
Yeah, and these are purely Marines. They're deep into creep. They will get picked up. Only needs one connection. But it is not quite going to be enough here. Actually, a better trade for Coffee. But Wanted only lost Lings and a couple of Banelings.
Oh, exactly. Meanwhile, that double jump comes in. Yo, is he going to snipe the hatchery again? Oh my god.
You should be able to just focus it down. Yeah, there we go. And picks up and leaves. The Banelings were way too far away.
Wanted, just get some overlords in position, please. Oh my god, he just has no vision here. So these drops just keep coming in and keep blindsiding Wanted.
They really do. If only there was air creep or something.
If only there was a way for a Zerg player to get vision in the air.
Impossible. Maybe if they make mutas, but you don't want to keep your mutas in one position.
It's just imbalanced, mate. What are you on about?
Exactly.
As they do have a Liberator sneaking between the bases, looking to try out 2 Liberators even. Oh my god, as they do siege up on 2 of these bases, and there's not really much to respond. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Score Pro's only now being made as a response. What a quick transition.
Oh no!
Transfuse
no!
Here. No, but the queen gets back in position. 2 queens are gonna go down unnecessarily.
God, again forcing Wanted all the way back. We have another drop here towards the 4th base. This one should finally be thwarted, and thankfully Wanted did double expand earlier, so at least he has 1 base up and running. But maybe I spoke too soon.
Says, oh, Wanted moves out. Coffee moves in.
Oh no! Again? No! Oh my god!
Ooh, that was a decent connection. But a medevac worth of Marines will make it out regardless.
God, this is reminding me of game number 1. Meanwhile, ooh, nice target fire there on every single one of those Banelings. The Lings are getting picked off. Can he get another hatchery? He's gonna get it! Oh.
Wow, the Banelings come in. And it doesn't even wipe out the army. Wanted is, okay, surprisingly still ahead on the mineral income.
Mate, 4 hatcheries.
How long can it last?
4 hatcheries have been picked off this game. 4 hatcheries have been killed. 4.
Jeez.
That's insane.
That's not counting the hatcheries that were cancelled, which was one of them.
That's like counting the current bases that Wanted has right now. That's oh my god. Wanted, he's triple expanding. Hopefully one of these bases survives. Oh my god. As we do have another double drop towards the top left. This time Banelings are ready and waiting. At the same time, Coffee clearing up a lot of creep.
Yeah, a lot of creep in the middle of the map, distracting most of the army towards the north. Wanted hasn't quite been able to transition out of Ling Bane yet, but that's about to change with the Greater Spire finishing up.
The problem is that, May, you need the money to make Corruptors and Broodlords. To be fair, he has a decent gas bank at the moment, but again, he just can't afford to keep losing hatcheries like this.
Yeah, can afford to keep losing hatcheries, can afford to keep losing Banelings, can afford to throw away his army like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, Wanted is staying on top of his upgrades, but unlike game number 1, Coffee is up in supply. You know, that is something that never happened in game 1, where Wanted was just able to continue to produce, and just non-stop produce. Meanwhile, Coffee, he's got his 4th base up and running. You know, finally it is up, and now he's pushing on towards his freshest base. There's barely any creep here behind these tanks.
There really isn't. Very low possibility of a flank here from the side of Wanted, but the Vipers try to get a Blinding Cloud, but the pathing working against his favor. Blinding Clouds actually run out right as the fight is about to end.
Oh my god, so mistimed there by Wanted. The Blinding Clouds almost did nothing. The Ling Bane was really struggling to engage with the army, and now the army falls. The Vipers get picked off. GG gets called.
Coffee is going to take that series 2-1.